Hello, friends. Today's verse is illiteracy in America. How bad is it? Let's rant.
Do you like reading books, or is there a separate part of that activity that you prefer?
No, most people don't like reading books. And the fact that you do puts you in the minority. The fact that you specifically enjoy classic literature puts you even in a smaller part of that minority. There's nothing wrong with any of these things, but your experience is not the experience of most people. Hi, I'm Shay. I'm a writer and I'm a former teacher. I specialized in literacy in English. Let's talk about some of the data. 1 in 5 adults actually struggles with literacy. That's not even talking about books. That's just about using written text to complete one's goals. 21%, which means the literacy rate of the United States as a country is 79%. To put that in perspective, most other countries have like a 99% literacy rate, like Japan, Russia, etc. And even adults who can comprehend text don't always read books. The famous Gallup poll puts that average at 12 books a year. 17% of Americans read none. 73% claim to have read at least one, but other polls put that number at like 50%, with an average of only 4 books. This is a problem, but the only way to improve your literacy is to read, and it doesn't matter what you read. Literacy trumps canon.
So I saw a TikTok that reminded me of America's literacy problem. And I know our literacy rates aren't the best. So it's not like I was leaning on this TikTok for information. But anyways, he quoted a statistic saying that 54% of Americans read at a 6th grade level. It's 2 things for me. Well, before I get to those 2 things, this statistic is one of those things to where I'm not debating whether it's accurate or not, but it's one of those things where the numbers could exist, but it does not reflect my reality at all. I don't even know where you meet people who can't read at a certain level. I don't know where they at. I don't come across. I don't know. It always baffles me. But the 2 things. 1, how is this even happening? Like, reading is not hard to do. Like, it's pretty easy. And then 2, my bar may be kind of low, but when I was in 6th grade, I was a pretty good fucking reader. And I'm an avid reader now. But if you ask me, have I become a better reader from when I was 12, 13 years old to now 34, I don't know what that gap is. So it sounds bad saying that 54% of Americans read at a 6th grade level. But what's the improvement gap from a 13-year-old, 12-year-old to an 18-year-old or a college student? Like, I read the same. I can comprehend. I know what I'm reading. I understand. Like, what does a person who reads at a 6th grade reading level read like? Like, I don't know, dog.
Take the tablets and the cell phones away.
So the thing I'm not tracking about the child literacy crisis is we're being told, hey, the kids coming up, they can't read. You got to take the tablets and the cell phones away. Well, how can they use the tablets and the cell phones in the first place if they can't read? Like, don't tablets and cell phones have words on them? They can't. If they couldn't read, then they wouldn't be able to operate the cell phone with the tablet. As a former private lesson teacher for guitar, piano, Ableton, and a bunch of other things, I have a different theory that the kids are getting smarter, like, way smarter. Kids know when you think they're dumb and stupid, and kids know whenever you're giving them boring, irrelevant, busy work. And if they can convince you they're too dumb to do something that you want them to do, that you're not going to make them do it. I know teachers and administration are going through a lot right now, so it's not to undermine them, but I just had to say what I had to say about it.
What do you think about this? Notice anything different? Comment down below.
I just started thinking how laws are just made and just how majority or just tens of millions of people in this country are illiterate. And it's like, no wonder politicians can just put certain things in laws because people aren't even going to conceptualize it or even try to understand it because they're illiterate. They cannot consider it because they are illiterate. So if you cannot read or not understand your own language, if you see writing, you're not going to consider the context. You're not even going to consider the meaning because it's just imagery. They're just symbols that you see on paper or on a screen. And if you cannot understand what they say and what they mean and what they entail towards your life, you're going to ignore it because it's just scribbles. They cannot consider it because they're illiterate. They're illiterate, so they don't consider it. It's like, fuck.
Y'all, when they said that the illiteracy rate in the U.S. has been going up amongst, like, children, I underestimated how serious, I guess, it was. Like, there are so many TikTok videos where there will be a blue search tab of like, oh, what does this word mean? Or like the meaning of blank word. Like I just saw a video and it was like being jaded meaning. Like people looking for the definition of the word jaded. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like these kids, I don't know if it's because they're spending too much time on the screens, they're not doing enough reading, but like their vocabulary just seems like super, super limited, and like they're not learning new vocab words. Like these kids need to just flip through a thesaurus or a dictionary for at least 10 minutes each day just to grow their vocabulary, or even talk to older people. Most of the words that I learned from a young age that were considered, I guess, like advanced vocabulary words were through talking to my great grandmother, talking to my grandma, talking to people that were older than me. They were the main ones teaching me these, like advanced vocabulary words. And that's the other thing too. Like, I don't know how, the parents and the grandparents or elders of these kids are communicating with their children. Like, how are y'all communicating with them? And everybody be joking about how DDG just be yapping and talking to Halo all day, 24/7. But I can guarantee you that that's going to pay off when he gets older. He's going to have an extensive vocabulary. He's going to be able to communicate himself eloquently, whether it's through writing or verbally. And he's just gonna be just very intelligent overall because DDG is just constantly talking to him. And I feel like that's what more parents and just like older people need to do with kids nowadays, because a lot of them do not know these like basic foundational elementary school level vocabulary words. So yeah, the kids just need to like exit out of TikTok, pick up a book, a thesaurus, dictionary, something, flip through that joint for like 10 minutes a day and just learn some new words, because y'all cannot keep dependent on TikTok as your main source of information. Like, there are so many other valuable sources of information that you can go to, and y'all just cannot be relying on TikTok like it's a dictionary. Like, no, go pick up an actual physical dictionary and look up the word if you don't know what it means.
All you teachers screaming about, the kids can't read, the kids can't read. Did you stop to think that maybe their parents can't either? What if I told you parent and adult illiteracy rates in this country were skyrocketing through the roof? How would you feel then with your judgy, self-righteous selves? Let's take a look. As of 2022, only 21% of adults in the United States are illiterate. 54% of those have a literacy rate below the 6th grade level. Meaning if they were in my 4th or 5th grade class, they might be struggling. That's what level the parents are on. Not all, but some. 55% of American adults under 30 cannot read, and it's specifically because our schools refuse to teach them and have effectively not been doing so for a while. As I've said in many of my videos, our failure is not on accident, it's by design. So the kids can't read and they're struggling. You blame the parents. Horrible, horrible parents at home. But the parents are struggling also. I love stats, so let's continue. Approximately 32 million adults in the United States cannot read, according to the U.S. Department of Education and the National Institute of Literacy. Low rates of literacy cost the United States up to $2.2 trillion per year. 130 million Americans, nearly a quarter of the Americans in this country, have low literacy rates of reading and low literacy skills, and read below a 6th grade level. Y'all see? You see this? Let's look at some data averages by state. Take a look at the colors. The lighter colors are at risk. The darker colors are proficient. Do you see any trends in any states? Notice anything? Minnesota and New Hampshire have the highest literacy scores of any state at 279. On the other hand, states like Louisiana, Mississippi, and New Mexico have the lowest average scores at 252. New York is also very low, as is New Jersey, Texas, Florida, and California. So the kids can't read and the kids are struggling, and of course, you blame the parents. But the parents can't read and they're struggling too. Story time. I usually teach all the siblings and cousins in one family in my classroom, and one year I had all the brothers and all the sisters in this one family. Kids were very low and struggling. Couldn't read, couldn't compute. I gave them intervention, small group. They left the room with another teacher. I spoke to last year's teacher. I didn't know what to do. Come to find out, Mom couldn't read either. Didn't want her kids to be screened for SPED because of the shame she felt.
If nearly 130 million American adults read below a 6th grade level, well, we have a huge problem, right? We need to spend more time with our kids with reading at least 30 minutes a day. Tell me what you think down below, and thank you for your time.